All right, it's instant reaction time on a late Sunday afternoon out west and a Sunday evening out east. So let's talk NFC. If the Eagles win next week against the New York Giants, they're the number one seed in the NFC, get the bye throughout the playoffs. Now, if they lose and the Niners win, the Niners can be the number one seed. The Cowboys, if the Eagles lose to the Giants, the Cowboys beat the Commanders, they could be the number one seed. So 3 teams in the NFC could be the number one seed. Philadelphia is not healthy. Dallas, I don't trust in crisis. The Niners feel like the number one seed to me, but my guess is Philly beats New York. Let's talk San Francisco Raiders. First of all, if you're from the East Coast, you don't realize how popular the 49ers are. They're the number one team, obviously the crowd today in Las Vegas, easily the most popular team in the Bay Area. And earlier this year, when they come and play the Rams, it's an 80-20 crowd, 49ers. They, singularly, are overwhelmingly the most popular team, Denver West or Chicago West in the NFL. They're also the most talented team. The defense didn't show up today against Jarrett Stidham. That one caught me off guard. Jarrett Stidham takes the Niners to overtime, but they're really, really good. This was one of the few clunkers today, and they still won. Now, we saw some limitations with Brock Purdy throwing the ball down the field. That's why he was the last person drafted in the 2022 draft. But again, Tony Romo and Kurt Warner were undrafted. Ryan Fitzpatrick, 7th round, threw for 35,000 yards in his career. Tom Brady, 6th round. I think Purdy is a really nice distributor of the football, playing with a lead with this coach and this defense. Is he going to go toe-to-toe with Mahomes, Burrow, and Josh Allen, play from behind against the fierce defense? No. The score and the context matters a great deal with Brock Purdy. He was in a dogfight today, and you saw some limitations. Some really bad throws, one up the right sideline to George Kittle, just a bad throw that was interception. But the Niners feel like easily, and now they're healthy, the most talented team in the NFC, despite their clunker today. If they get home field, and they're good at home, I think they win out and get to the Super Bowl in Arizona. You know, I want to talk about Green Bay. So they throttle the Vikings. Sometimes it takes a while to figure out your identity. Even teams that are really, really good, they get into a game, they trail, and they kind of forget who they are. We saw Michigan against TCU. Michigan sort of lost their identity despite 10 blowout wins. They got cute, they got clever, they got deceptive. They're a power team. So I've felt all along, because of the limitations on the outside offensively, that Green Bay is a run-first team. It is not a shot at Aaron Rodgers. They're a 55 to 58% run team first, and then let Aaron Rodgers dice it up, slice up defenses on play action, which he is prone to be excellent. They finally, in the last couple of weeks, have found their identity. Dillon, Aaron Jones, each a dozen carries or more. That's what they should be. 25 to 30 carries. And then what did Aaron Rodgers, how many passes did Aaron Rodgers even complete today? 15, 16? It's not a shot at Aaron. But because Romeo Doubs is a rookie and you can't trust him, a lot of drops to make a big catch in a big game, and Christian Watson, playoffs will be different, coverage will be different. You can't expect him to consistently make big plays in the postseason. This team's got to be defense. It's got to be run first and Aaron on play action. Now, I think there's a ceiling to that. I don't think they can go to Philadelphia and win. I don't think they can go to San Francisco and win. But it is so important to find your identity. And I'm not the only one. The people that cover the Packers, I follow them, I read them, I consume their work. They've been complaining about this since mid-September. Run the ball. And I go back to, had Aaron shown up to OTAs and been more engaged with the young receivers, you'd have found your identity 6, 8, 10 weeks ago. You'd have found it in mid-October. It took you until after Thanksgiving, and that's why you got to beat Detroit next week or you're not in the playoffs. It's come down to a final week game against the Lions, a go-either-way game. Good news, it's at Lambeau, and Lions are a dome team. But you could have figured this out, resolved this matter, I think, much earlier in the season. In terms of the Minnesota Vikings, it's really interesting. I want to pivot from that to the Miami Dolphins situation against the Patriots. They lost. So they have the coach on the right side of the ball. They have star receivers. Very nice tight end, Mike Gesicki. Good backs. What to do with Tua and Teddy? Tua and Teddy Bridgewater, Tua and Teddy, the tandem, are small, prone to inavailability. Tua with concussions, Teddy with other injuries. Neither one able to push the ball down the field. So we're in an era of Herbert, Burrow, Allen, Mahomes. Big, physical quarterbacks. Teddy Bridgewater doesn't feel like the guy. And I was thinking, watching Kirk Cousins. Say what you want about Kirk Cousins. He's always available. Remember, Mike McDaniel, the coach of Miami, where'd he come from? San Francisco. Whose offense does he run? Kyle Shanahan's. Who did Kyle Shanahan want in San Francisco 2 years ago? Kirk Cousins. This offense is about a distributor. That's why I think McDaniel likes Tua. He's just not available. He's small. We have a major and very serious concussion issue with Tua. Okay? Any sign of problems. I'm not sure in 2 years if he's in the league. It's a serious matter. Tua wants to play, but if I was a team doctor, if I own the Dolphins, if I'm a head coach or a GM, I am very, very reluctant to put him back in. So this offense in Miami is built for a distributor, which Tua is, but regularly unavailable. Minnesota needs draft capital. I think Minnesota looks at their division and thinks, Aaron's better, Goff is actually better and more talented, and Justin Fields is emerging as a star if he can stay upright with a dysfunctional Bears organization. But as I watched Miami lose today, my takeaway was Teddy got hurt. Tua's often unavailable. These are serious injuries. This is a big man's game. And I wonder if Miami is sitting there thinking, we just need somebody that's available. Derek Carr is always available. Kirk Cousins, always available. That's why I don't think Garoppolo to Miami fits. They'd say, what's the point? He's a distributor who's often hurt. But I think Miami's in a fascinating situation. I think it would be very attractive to Tom Brady. Just move down Alligator Alley to the other side of the state, get a great offensive coach, superstar weapons, get to play Belichick twice a year. I think that would be very attractive if I was Tom Brady. You don't want to move his sons around the country. He's in Florida. He, has vacationed in Florida, spent time in Florida, now plays in Florida. Keep your eye on the Miami Dolphins situation. It is built for a distributor. They don't need a playmaker at quarterback. Cousins, Brady, Carr, every Sunday, they're ready to play. If you're like most men, you want to be confident and you want to look good. But finding accessories that are both high quality and stylish, it can be a challenge. That's where our friends at Vincero come in. Accessories, watches, sunglasses, jewelry. Their top tier designs are sleek and exude class. So if you're looking to stand out from the rest, it's simple. Vincero is the way to go. At Vincero Collective, their mission is simple. Build premium products that can be worn daily, yet are built to last. They design all their products in-house, in small batches, without sacrificing on style. Not only does Vincero make fantastic watches, they also offer a line of iconic sunglasses. All of their sunglasses are polarized and scratch resistant. And all the glasses are made with high quality Italian acetate and steel hinges. Vincero is the absolute perfect gift for yourself or somebody you love. Whether you're shopping for a watch, sunglasses, jewelry, you'll find that special something with Vincero Collective. For a limited time only, limited 20% off and free shipping with our exclusive code Cowherd at vincerocollective.com/Cowherd. Get 20% off and free shipping site-wide with a code Cowherd at vincerocollective.com. Support our show. Use the code Cowherd at VINCERO collective.com. Accessorize your life with style at Vincero. A shout out to the New York Giants for making the playoffs and Brian Daboll as coach of the year. There's 5 or 6 great owners in the NFL, great quarterbacks in the NFL, great GMs in the NFL. Is Brian Daboll one of the 5 or 6 great coaches? Does everybody realize what he's done? They're a rebuild on the offensive line outside of left tackle. They're a rebuild in the receiving corps. Saquon Barkley is one of 2 Pro Bowlers on the entire team. Dexter Lawrence is the other. They are in rebuild outside of the defensive front. And he got this team into the playoffs. They have the 18th ranked offense. They're going to keep Daniel Jones. They're going to keep him. I think it's time to sell. I think it's a classic time where Brian Daboll, you've even seen Josh Allen with the Bills since Daboll left, back to making bad throws and there's more turnovers, right? This is a perfect time for Daniel Jones. People are like, oh, look at this. Oh, Daniel Jones. You see this all the time where a great coach elevates a player. The market, there's a sucker every minute, jumps in. You know, for years and years, it was cornerbacks from Alabama with Nick Saban. You know, you'd go draft them, get them in the NFL, and they couldn't play. You've seen this. I mean, Lincoln Riley at USC. Now, I think Caleb Williams is amazing, but, he makes every quarterback a Heisman winner. So you see this from time to time where a great coach on either side of the ball elevates a player beyond his capability. Daniel Jones, to me, in the NFC, can get you in the playoffs, clearly. In the AFC, you'd have to move him, right? This would not be a playoff team. But Brian Daboll, to me, this is as good a coaching job as I've seen in a long, long time. I went over their stats today, some of the Giants' stats. Now, you can say, well, the division's not great. Actually, the division's better than everybody projected. Philadelphia, for a long time in the NFC, was the number 1 seed and still can be. Dallas has a super talented roster, and Washington has pieces. This division's better than you think. Now, the NFC as a whole is wobbly and kind of dysfunctional at the top. But Brian Daboll, I know it's the Colts, but to take this 2 Pro Bowl roster to the playoffs, go look at their offensive stats on NFL.com. It is, they're in complete rebuild in the 2 most important areas outside of quarterback in the NFL, you could argue, O-line and weapons. I think the NFL has found another great coach. And it is something to note that Josh Allen's still remarkable, but he's made more mistakes this year. He's had a very sketchy last month. He has struggled more in the red zone. About 15 games after Brian Daboll left, maybe 12. End of the year, getting back into bad habits. Brian Daboll's no longer in Buffalo. Josh Allen's making a lot more critical mistakes. All right, that's instant reaction. Early Sunday evening version for the West Coast. Late Sunday for the East Coast. We'll see you on FS1. Premier Radio tomorrow.